What if I told you Apple's next Apple TV 4K could change your living room more than your last new TV? The 2025 leaks and rumors are wild, and if even half of them land, this tiny box is about to become the smartest thing under your screen. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll hit the biggest upgrades, the surprise product that could undercut Roku and Fire TV, and at the end, I'll give you the likely release window, price predictions, and whether you should wait or buy now. Imagine this. You sit down, hit play, and your TV knows the actors on screen, the song that's playing, and it even boosts dialogue automatically, so you never ride the volume during quiet scenes and explosions. You ask, who is that? And the answer appears instantly. Your lights dim. Your sound gets clearer, and when you lose the remote, because of course, you can finally make it ring. That's the kind of experience Apple is building toward, and 2025 looks like the year it gets real. Let's start with the silicon, because it decides everything else. Multiple reports point to Apple moving the next Apple TV 4K to either an A16 class chip, or, the more exciting option, an A17 Pro class chip. Here's what that means in your living room. Faster app launches. Super smooth UI. And for the first time, enough headroom to handle modern codecs and higher-end games without breaking a sweat. If Apple uses A17 Pro, you're looking at hardware AV1 decoding, translation, better efficiency and quality for YouTube 4K and 4K HDR, with less buffering and crisper detail. If you watch a lot of YouTube or sports streams that rely on AV1, that single change is the quiet killer feature. Even if Apple goes A16, you'll feel the speed bump over the current A15 model, but A17 Pro is the one that really unlocks next-gen streaming. Connectivity is the other big story. Expect Wi-Fi 6E at a minimum, which means a clean 6 GHz lane for 4K streams in congested homes. There's also chatter about Wi-Fi 7. If Apple goes there, you get lower latency and higher sustained throughput, perfect for multi-view sports and gaming. Ethernet should stick around on at least one model, and Apple's Thread, Matter smart home hub features are likely to get more reliable and faster. So your lights and sensors respond instantly when scenes change. Now, the remote. It's the #1 request, and Apple knows it. The rumor mill is loud about two things. Find My support that actually lets you ping the remote, and backlit buttons that glow when you pick it up in the dark. If Apple adds a UWB chip, you could even get precision finding on your iPhone with an arrow guiding you to the couch cushion that ate it. A slightly tweaked layout and better ClickPad haptics are also on the table. It sounds small, but a better remote is the kind of daily upgrade you feel every night. Software is already pointing the way. iOS 18 introduced Insight. Think, who's that actor? What's that song? And it's rolling out across Apple's content, with more services expected to plug in. Dialogue enhancement keeps improving, especially if you're pairing with HomePod. Subtitles now pop in automatically when you rewind a few seconds, then get out of the way. Projector owners got 21.9 support. Live captions are expanding. None of that needs new hardware, but new hardware will make all of it snappier, more consistent, and ready for features Apple hasn't announced yet. Speaking of features Apple hasn't announced yet, let's talk gaming. Apple's been pushing console-quality titles on iPhone and Mac, and an A17 Pro-powered Apple TV could finally feel like a real living room game box for Apple Arcade and premium titles. Faster chips mean higher frame rates, lower input latency with Bluetooth controllers, and more headroom for visual effects. Cloud gaming on Apple platforms is also loosening up, and if major services bring official tvOS apps, the next Apple TV's networking upgrades will matter even more. If you've ever thought I'd play more if it just felt smoother, 2025 might be the turning point. Home theater lovers, here's the good news. Apple's Dolby Vision and Atmos pipeline is already excellent. With stronger silicon, expect more consistent 4K HDR across services, cleaner upscaling for 1080p content, and smarter audio tricks like better voice isolation without flattening explosions or music. If you own HomePods, the syncing between Apple TV and speakers keeps getting tighter year over year. And if Apple launches a new HomePod with a display in 2025, a rumor that won't die, expect the Apple TV to be its best friend. Shared Siri context, better handoff, more just works moments. Design-wise, don't expect a wild new look. Apple's gone small, fanless, and quiet. And that's what you want sitting under a TV. The box will likely stay sleek and minimal. The real changes are inside. Now for the plot twist, a cheaper Apple TV. For years, Apple has explored a lower-cost streaming device to compete with Roku and Fire TV. The buzz for 2025 is that we might finally see it in the form of an Apple TV stick or mini. Picture a dongle that plugs straight into HDMI, delivers the Apple TV app, AirPlay, HomeKit control, and 4K streaming at a much lower price. It probably won't be a gaming beast. Storage will be smaller, but for guests' rooms, dorms, travel, or anyone deep in the Apple ecosystem who doesn't want to spend over $100, this could be huge. If Apple nails the price and keeps performance snappy, it will bring a lot of households into the Apple TV world for the first time. There's one more under-the-radar upgrade worth watching: codecs and picture quality. We talked about AV1 for YouTube. That alone is big. But better tone mapping, smoother frame pacing, and improved motion handling are all areas Apple can quietly refine with new silicon. You won't see those on a spec sheet, but you will notice your picture looks cleaner and more stable, especially on big screens. Alright, let's talk money and timing, because that's what everyone asks. Based on Apple's pattern, there are two realistic windows. Spring, where Apple sometimes sneaks out home products via press release or a short event, and fall, alongside iPhone and Apple Watch, which brings maximum attention. If the cheaper stick is real, spring or summer is a smart time for it. If there's a higher-end Apple TV 4K with a bigger chip jump, fall makes sense. Price predictions? Here's the most likely setup. A mainstream Apple TV 4K lands between $99 and $129, depending on storage and Ethernet. A higher-end trim with more storage and wired networking could hit $149 $79. And if Apple launches that budget stick, expect something in the $14 to more. $79 range to undercut premium Roku and Fire TV models while still feeling like Apple. Remember, these are predictions, not guarantees, but they line up with Apple's recent pricing strategy and where the market is moving. So, should you wait or buy the current Apple TV 4K right now? If you stream a lot of YouTube 4K, or you care about future-proofing for new codecs and faster gaming, waiting makes sense. The next model's chip will matter for years. If you keep losing your remote and you're hoping for Find My and backlit buttons, waiting also makes sense. But if you just want the most reliable box for Netflix, Apple TV Plus, Prime Video, and a killer Dolby Vision Atmos experience today, the current Apple TV 4K is still the most polished streamer you can buy. You won't regret it, and it'll get tvOS updates for a long time. Here's the bottom line. Apple isn't just tuning up a streaming box. It's building a living room computer that quietly amplifies everything you do on your TV. Picture, sound, search, sports, gaming, smart home, all stitched together with Apple's ecosystem. 2025 is shaping up to be the biggest step forward since the 4K model launched. New chip, smarter software, better remote, possibly a true budget option. The pieces are in place. If you found this useful, you know what to do. And now I want to hear from you. Would you buy a cheaper Apple TV stick, or are you all in on a more powerful box with AV1 and gaming headroom? You can drop your pick and the one feature you need to see in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.